Hey everyone, welcome back to the Book Cave with me, Jenny. So today I am starting a reading vlog, and you'll know what this one is if you've watched my previous video of reading as much as I can on my day off. And that is going to be the Regency Fairy Tale series by Olivia Atwater. And so we have Half a Soul, 10,000 Stitches, and Long Shadow. And I didn't realize when I picked this series up that they're actually more interconnected standalones. They each have different main characters, but the main characters are either like related or know each other. So yeah, I was definitely interested to see that. And that helps me out a little bit. I can read them out of order because the last two came from a different county than what I'm in, so they're due back sooner. However, I am hoping I can read all three of these in a day, or, a day and a half, as evidenced by the fact of the other video that I have them in. So yeah, I'm going to get to reading these, and I will update you all as I have more to say. So Half a Soul is book 1 in the Regency Fairy Tales, and this follows a woman called Theodora Ettings, known as Dora, and Elias Wilder, who is the Lord Sorcier. And basically, Dora has been cursed by fairies, and she only has half a soul. She cannot feel fear or embarrassment, which leads often to scandal. She's getting ready to debut in the London season and hopes to be a wallflower. And obviously, things don't go quite as planned. And yeah, this just sounds kind of like a fun little series, and I believe this is also supposed to be YA. I did not realize that. So yeah, I'm definitely interested to start this and see what it's all about. So I've got to chapter 5 of Half a Soul, and we have met the Lord Sorcier now, and have seen Dora and Elias interact. And their interactions are actually pretty funny, especially with the fact that with her condition, she knows she should be offended, but isn't necessarily, or doesn't feel it quite as much, so she can kind of calmly think of the comebacks, and they wind up being pretty funny. And I also really like her and Albert's kind of burgeoning friendship. I just feel like that is very sweet. And yeah, I'm actually having a lot of fun with this, and am pretty excited to get further into it and see her relationship with Elias kind of evolve and everything, and how he goes from this, I guess, scientific, magical, I should say, interest because he knows she's cursed and wants to help her, versus, where they ultimately end up. So yeah, I'm going to continue reading this, and it's been pretty quick so far. I've gotten through about a quarter of it, and it has not really been that long. So I do have some hope that I can finish the whole trilogy today. So I'm just shy of page 200 in Half a Soul now, and we have found out some very interesting stuff about the fairy who cursed Dora. and we have some very interesting developments. So I feel like this last 80-ish pages is going to be pretty action-packed. So I've now finished Half a Soul, and I have to say I did really enjoy this. I felt like Elias and Dora had a very good relationship. I felt like they were very well matched, in their values and in what they wanted from each other, and as well as the way they were able to spar with each other at the beginning and throughout it. I just found that really fun. And I like when he, when they meet for the second time, I believe it is, and she gets brought over, and he says, what do you want me to do? Walk her, and everything. And her response is, oh, well, why don't you teach you to speak? Oh, wait, I already have better diction skills than you do. And I just found that very funny and like a very fitting response as well. And yet he really wasn't being like a bore about it. It was literally just a joke to see how she would react. So yeah. And then book 2, 10,000 Stitches, follows, I cannot remember, follows Lord Blackthorn, and then Effie. So Lord Blackthorn, we did meet in Half a Soul. He was one of the fairy nobility that danced with Dora. So yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see some more about him, and he's supposed to be a sort of bumbling fairy godfather to Effie. So yeah, I feel like this one should be pretty funny as well, and we'll see if it has any of the social commentary that this one had, which was quite a bit, mostly about what things were like in the past, but they are relevant to today, like to just basically respect everybody. And then this one also had the Lord Sorcerer short story, which gave a lot of background into Elias, and why can I never remember his name? Elias and Albert. It gave a lot to their friendship, and I really enjoyed seeing that and how they came to know each other. And yeah, I will report back once I get a little further, and actually, well, I should say start 10,000 Stitches. So I'm about halfway through 10,000 Stitches, and we're definitely getting some forward momentum in the plot instead of just setup. And I really, really like Lord Blackthorn / Juniper Jubilee. I really love that name too. It really kind of fits him. He has that vibe of the kind of, he means well, but things he does don't always work out like they should. And so far we've only really had one that I would call bad. Like, we've had a few that are kind of like, oh, that's odd. But, yeah, making a woman bray like a donkey, I'd say that was a pretty bad one. But that was pretty funny as well, in a way. And the fact that, it wasn't permanent or anything. So, And it's definitely also interesting to see the friendship between him and Effie kind of evolve throughout even just this first, 90 pages? Yeah, 90 pages. So I'm definitely interested to see where they go and how exactly their bargain works out, because I have a feeling that the 10,000 stitches will be completed, but that the other half Effie will either like change her mind on or something. That's where I'm kind of leaning, although I know I'm not that far into it. So yeah, I'm going to get to reading and update you all when I have some more thoughts. So I did finish 10,000 Stitches, and I really enjoyed the slow burn in this between Effie and Lord Blackthorn / Juniper Jubilee, and I just thought it was really quite cute, and it kind of continues the theme of the first book in trying to undo what injustices you can, even though obviously, you can't undo all of them. You do see, like, Effie and the other servants working to make the place where they work a little better while still being, fair about it and realizing that, no, we can't make it perfect, but we can at least make it better. So yeah, overall, I am enjoying this series, and I do like that they are interconnected standalones. So you really could read at least these first two in either order. It is kind of fun to read it in order just to see, to know, well, I should say to know, like, who Juniper Jubilee is and who Lady Hawthorne is and all that stuff. But to read it in the wrong order, I don't feel like would really hurt it overly much. You just might miss a few little things here and there. But I am excited to go on to book 3, which is Lord Longshadow, and see what I think of that. So I started Longshadow, which is the final book in Regency Fairy Tales. I have gotten about a third of the way through it, and this is pretty fun. This is following Abigail Wilder, who, of course, we met in the first book, and we saw very briefly in the second book. She is now 18, so it is 5 years after book 1. And yeah, it's fun, just like the others. We have also met Mercy, who I believe is very similar to Abigail, has at least part of the same backstory of having been in Fairy. And yeah, just the banter is, as always, really fun in these. And I'm looking forward to where the mystery's going to go. We have a little bit of a murder mystery in this one. And then I also am enjoying that, obviously, with that, we are getting to see a little bit more of Fairy and a little bit more of, like, the otherworldliness. And we are seeing a little less of just, like, general human parts in this. So yeah, I am enjoying it, and I'm hoping I can finish it because it's just over 250. It's 254 pages. And like I said, I'm at page 86 to be exact. So I do feel like I might be able to finish it today. Obviously, I want to finish all 3 in one day, and that didn't happen at all. But we will see how this one goes. So I finished Longshadow, which is the last book in this trilogy, obviously. And this one follows Abigail, who is the adopted daughter of Dora and Elias, otherwise known as Lady and Lord Sorcier. And yeah, I really liked this. I enjoyed getting to see her again, and getting to see as well Effie from the last book briefly in Lord Blackthorn. And then Abigail herself was a very fun character. I love how she was just as headstrong as Dora was and as Effie was. And then we have Mercy, who was a very interesting character. And I feel like the side plot in this book was a very strong one, and it was basically a mystery plot. And yeah, I did feel like that was very strong and very well done. So yeah, I definitely do recommend this series if you like the kind of Regency era historical fiction, and if you like slow burn romances, because that is one thing that all three of them had, was slow burn romances where you get a lot of emotional connection between the characters. And I just really felt like all of them were very solid couples because of that. You know, we really get to see that connection be forged, and they are quite funny at times as well. But yeah, that is everything I have for you today. Thank you for joining me in the book cave, and as always, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button and hit that subscribe button with the notification bell so that you get a notification every time I post a new video. And I will see you next time in the book cave.